Hey, congratulations for Oregon Trail.
Thank you. Thank you.
You gotta love these Westerns, but I have to hear it from you is what initially drew you to this project?
Honestly, I don't know. I read the script and I thought that Abby was such a unique character. She's so brave and so independent and strong-willed and smart, and she really is kind of the hero of the story. And I've never played a character like that before, so I really wanted to get the part, and I was lucky enough that they offered it to me. So after I auditioned, but yeah. Yeah,
I,
no, she's
I,
she's just
I
a
was gonna
really cool,
I love
sorry,
it.
she's
It's
just a
really
really
cool.
cool girl.
I
Yeah.
I was gonna add that Abby displayed so many different types of emotions through this entire journey of the film. What was the most challenging emotion that you had to go deep into?
Oh gosh, let me I don't know. I honestly, I was so lucky that all my scene partners were so amazing and so present and very generous, and that made acting opposite them so easy. It just felt like we really fell into the cadence of the scene, and the emotions came pretty naturally, which doesn't always happen. But when you have really committed scene partners who are there for you and who you feel supported by, it just makes your job so much easier. So honestly, I was really fortunate. I mean, anytime you have a more like emotional scene or when you have to cry and stuff, I definitely think you put like pressure on yourself to perform, and you set the bar pretty high. But so maybe that was the most challenging, but honestly, having all those other amazing actors made my job pretty easy. I'm pretty grateful for that.
Most excellent. Now, is this your first Western? I know you're Canadian, and we always assume every Canadian does Westerns, but is this your first Western project?
It is my first Western, actually. I've never done one before. It was a lot of fun.
What did you learn on a project like this? Um, doing many different things.
What did I learn? I mean, I definitely rekindled my love of horseback riding. I hadn't done it since I was a kid, so that was really fun. Also learned that my body can withstand very cold temperatures, and I'm saying this as a Canadian. It was cold. Montana's cold. Like we were in the valley, and it was so, yeah, it was freezing and windy, and obviously, like with our wardrobe, you have cold hands and feet and ears all the time. And um, I was pretty impressed with the fact that I feel like I was able to do my job despite being really freezing. But yeah, I don't know. In terms of other things I learned, I don't know. I just it just really helped reinforce that I love what I do, and that I like to create new characters and get to know them as a, I don't know, as I'm working every time I work on a new project. So it was more of a reinforcement of things that I already knew I loved.
So going back to riding horses, did it came back naturally and easily, just like what, getting on a bike?
Yeah, honestly, it did. And these horses were amazing. There were these horse wranglers, Schultz Wrangling, based out of Montana, and I don't know how they trained these horses, but these horses were the most well behaved and sweet and loving, and yeah, I just had a blast riding them. I even would like ride back to set whenever I could, rather than get in a car if we were, sorry, ride back to base camp from set. Like it would be like a half-hour horseback ride, and it was so fun. It was so nice. Yeah, it was like, I think that getting back in the saddle with these particular horses made my job so easy because they were just dream horses, honestly.
Ironically, the entire plot is all about Abby trying to get back her horse.
Yes, yes, beautiful horse, Fable. Yeah, yeah. And I could relate to that. It was like, I think I would do that for my horse if I had a horse too. So,
Tell me about this ranch or town that they filmed in Montana. You said it was a little cold, but I feel isolated too at the same time.
yes, it definitely felt like it was in the middle of nowhere, which I think was important for the story to make sense. And yeah, there's this little western town set that's been built in this valley in Montana, and all you see around you are mountains, so you feel very, very isolated. And the town is really well built. I'm sure that they shoot there a lot because it's so believable. It's kind of trippy to walk through it. You just feel like, I don't know, you hopped in a time machine somehow and were dropped off here. But yeah, it was super fun. There are all these buildings. There's like a church, there's a stable, there's, I don't remember what other buildings there are, but there, yeah, there's a ton of stuff, and it's so well built. It's so impressive.
So it's just like walking into the 1870s for you.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
How about the costumes you got to wear on this production?
Yeah, they were really beautifully made. And what's interesting about this movie is I think everybody just had one outfit, right? Which makes sense for the time period too. I did have a second at the very end, but yeah, the wardrobe was really well made, surprisingly warm. It was all wool, and it wasn't super thick, but my body never got cold, which was very impressive. And the attention to detail, like it was so beautifully tailored. I had this really cool shirt underneath my jacket with a dress on, but you never got to see it. But I knew it was there, and that's what mattered. Yeah, the wardrobe was just really, really well done, and our wardrobe people were so sweet and lovely to work with.
Wow. I was going to ask what's the secret of keeping warm up there, but it seems like you kept warm.
Wool, I guess. Yeah, I mean, again, the ears froze for sure. The ears were tough, and the feet and the hands, because I had these like really thin little leather boots, and there was one time where we were filming on this frozen lake, and I had to be like, I need a sec to warm up my feet. I think I'm feeling the frostbite coming on. Everybody else was like, oh my God, thank you for saying something. Like everybody's feet were so cold. But we just didn't want to like disrupt the shooting day, I guess. But other than that, like, yeah, we managed. You have little, like, they call them hot shots, like these little hand warmers or foot warmers you can put in your boots and in your gloves, and they do work. Drinking a lot of coffee and tea, that helps. Yeah.
Speaking of the frozen lake scene, that scene was amazing. And I'm always curious on how the sausage was made, but how did you manage to pull that off without freezing to death?
So the jump into the frozen lake was a stunt double. They had to get like a professional diver to do that because I think that could have, I don't know, that could have been like incredibly dangerous because the ice was like a foot thick and there's an undertow. And so, yeah, they had a professional diver do it who crushed it. And then I got to film a pickup in Los Angeles in a pool for when he actually see my face, which, yeah, was a lot more pleasant than a frozen lake would have been, I'm assuming. But yeah, maybe one day I'll learn to dive in a frozen lake, but the day has not yet come.
Well, I guess that's a great thing that you did your wet scene in Los Angeles.
Yeah, it was, I mean, there was a scene where they put water on me and I was outside and I was supposed to look like I'd come out of the lake, but in terms of when you see me actually submerged in the water, yeah, that was LA. And I was very grateful to not be in Montana for that.
and and I know you had a little bit of praise of your castmates on this film for Oregon Trail, but these bandits are pretty terrifying. Which of your cast members was the scariest to you, especially with their acting?
I don't know. That's because the bandits, they all have such distinct personalities. Like Michael Abbott, who, oh my gosh, I forget his bandit's name. He's the goofier one.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Anyway, he made me laugh. He had these like furry chaps and was just like so committed to this kind of goofy, freak, scary character. So I was obsessed with his portrayal. And then Sam, who played Logan, had this his delivery was very calm, so that lends his character a bit of an eerie quality. And then obviously Nicholas, who played Reese, was, I think, the most obviously scary. You know what I mean? He was a very intense intense character. And then, I mean, I don't want to give anything away, but yeah, his true colors reveal themselves as the movie progresses. And yeah, he did a really good job. They all crushed it. And then Alejandro, who played, oh my gosh, I again forget his character's name. I'm the worst. This was a
That's
year ago that we filmed, but he wasn't scary because he was supposed to be kind of the sweet, naive one, and he did that very well. Yeah. Felix. He played Felix.
It's quite understandable. We always know that you have a busy schedule and memorizing so many scripts and projects and so on. But
Oh my gosh, what was Michael's character's name? It'll come back to me.
it's all right. People will have to check out this film and they'll probably contact you
Go.
with his name
There you
anyways.
go. There you go.
Well, Zoe, hey, thank you very much for speaking to us about Oregon Trail. It sounds like you had a wonderful experience, and we could tell you had a delightful, lots of delightful fun on this set.
I did, yeah, and thank you so much for chatting too. This was really nice. Yeah, yeah. I hope people enjoy the movie.
Appreciate it. Thank you.